Hello, everybody. It is great to be here. And I have my friend, Crazy John. Whoops, sorry about that, John. It's a little delay. I think you were listening to it on the website, but it's great to have you here. So my name is Gary Fowler. Great to be here. And I have my friend, Crazy John. Hey, John, I think it's on your, you need to turn off your website. John, it's a little. You got it off, John?
Yes. Oh, I'm in the show already. Hey,
Yeah.
Gary, how are you doing?
Good. I
was watching on Facebook Live.
I understand. Now I was going like there was a delayed reaction, so it's great to have you here, John.
Yeah, so thank you so much for inviting me.
It's great to have you. So my friend Crazy John Moriwaka from Japan is here. I love this guy. He's a startup entrepreneur. I mean, he's the only guy that I know has a title entrepreneur, professor, and rapper. And it's just with great pleasure that I have my friend Crazy John on today. So welcome to my show, Crazy John. It's great to have you.
Thank you so much, Gary, my big brother from another mother.
Yes, exactly. Now, how in the world did you come up with Crazy John? Where did that come from?
Actually, there was another guy called John Manjiro. He's a revolutionary and the first person made an English dictionary in Japan. So my real name is Kojiro, means happy second son in Japanese, because I have an older brother.
Yes.
So I'm happy second son. And Kojiro and Manjiro sounds similar. So famous, actually, M&A consultant and a famous professor named Kobayashi. So Professor Kobayashi named me John Kojiro.
Well, I love it. And where did the crazy come from?
Crazy. I'm just born to be crazy, right? So
no, you're amazing. I got to tell you, John, you're amazing. And so tell us a little bit. I mean, your family's been in the medtech environment for some time. I mean, how did you get involved in startups, and where did that come from? What's that journey like?
Yeah, thanks, Gary. So I was born in 1982, and in Shimonoseki City is one of the most revolutionary town, very small town. However, we produce most of like change makers, entrepreneurs, and most of actually politicians from my area, because there was 150 years ago, there was a revolutionary educator, Mr. Yoshida. He made a small acceleration program called Shoka Sonjuku. Then he produced first prime minister. So I was born here and grew up in the family and political and also entrepreneur family. My parents founded Moriwaka Medical for last 50 years ago, selling medical devices. And so grew up in this kind of medical and educational and also the kind of family. I was always wanted to be a leader but not leader in politics, not leader in the business, not leader in the education, leader to be, for helping all leaders to changing the world. And how I became involved in the startup is Dr. Anis Uzzaman, the founder and general partner of the Pegasus Tech Ventures. He sent one book called Startup Bible 8 years ago from Silicon Valley to Shimonoseki City. Then after I read the book, I wanted to go to Silicon Valley to say thank you to him. Then I was so amazed about Silicon Valley.
And so what's the thing that amazes you? What do you see in Silicon Valley that really attracts your attention?
Yeah, thanks, Gary. Again, I was actually sent to study in Australia. First, when I was 19 years old, I couldn't speak English at all. I failed 20 universities in Japan. And because I was really into hip hop and boxing. And then I moved to Australia, study marketing, stayed there for 7 years. And then I really wanted to learn more. So I went to Harvard Business School and study about marketing, finance, leadership, and innovation. And I wanted to educate the next leaders over 40 years old. But at that time, I was too young, like only turned 30 years old. So I was thinking, maybe I should help young people to be entrepreneurs. And then Silicon Valley is the best place from zero to one, and more people become entrepreneurs, not like leaders yet, but young entrepreneurs changing the world. That's excite me, that made me stay in Silicon Valley more,
Well, that gave you a lot of energy.
Yes, yes, a lot, too much.
So what's happening in Japan? Tell us a little bit about the startup ecosystem. You don't hear a lot about startups from Japan that much, but I know you've told me some amazing things. Tell us a little bit about what the journey's been like for the startup ecosystem in Japan and where you see it and what you're doing to really push that forward.
Yeah. So Gary, about 7 years ago, since then I've been started to teach entrepreneurship. When I was in Silicon Valley, whatever I learned, I brought the ideas and the culture back to Japan from Silicon Valley. Start to do lots of meetup events. Start to do only English events. However, at that time, only like finance people, MBA holders, they start to come to my event. Not many startup people, but last 3 to 5 years, so many people start to change. Wow, we changed their mindset, and 137 accelerators out there now. And also corporates want to do the open innovation projects with startups, even from the foreign countries. So, and Cabinet Office Japan last July, they announced that they chose 8 different startup ecosystems: Hokkaido, Tohoku area, like Sendai City, Tokyo Consortium, Nagoya Consortium, Central Japan, and the Kansai area is Kyoto, Osaka, Kobe ecosystem, Hiroshima ecosystem, Kitakyushu ecosystem, and Fukuoka. So now we have 8 big startup ecosystems happening right now.
And so what about like artificial intelligence and quantum computing? Do you see much of that? Is it talked about? Do you see startups in those areas?
Yeah, so many, again, like in healthcare, AI, anything, some industry times AI, machine learning, deep tech startups, like coming from like many research institutes and also universities. And also we brought Hello Tomorrow from France. That's a deep tech community to Japan, running the only English event. So many AI tech and also education tech and healthcare again, med tech, many things with the AI as well.
So what happens? What about, I mean, there's so many incredible Japanese companies, the Sonys of the world, Toyota corporations of the world. I mean, you name it, real leaders. When I think about Japan, I think about the most unbeatable, incredible bulletproof cars in the world. They're just literally, incredible. They run forever. They've got the right kind of bells and whistles. They're reliable. When you think about Japan, you think about reliability and really amazing quality stuff. What about it now? What about those companies? Are they getting involved in this movement? Are they supporting the startups? What are they doing? Like Toyota, are they involved in it, or how does it work?
Yes. So they have their own venture capital fund. One of my friends from Silicon Valley, he moved, transferred from Honda to Toyota, running the new VC about I think 800 million USD. And also they have another fund for only
how big is that? 800 million?
800 million
dollars?
Yeah.
Wow, that's a big fund. And wow, and what kind of things are they focused on?
I'm not quite sure about what they're focusing on, but I'm sure AI, mobility startups. Toyota already investing like Uber long time ago with SoftBank. So those big giants, Japanese old economies, those are actually not only collaborating on buying out, they actually investing startups even overseas as well.
Oh, that's incredible. That's really cool. And what kind of, you look at SoftBank. I mean, SoftBank's really dominated the market. I mean, it's like you hear SoftBank everywhere. Yeah. What's going on with SoftBank? How did they get such a, do you have any insights in terms of SoftBank? It's like they're everywhere, literally. I hear about them in all kinds of funds in most of the countries.
Yeah, we really love SoftBank and respect for whatever their innovation activities, because the founder, Masayoshi Son, is a revolutionary, and he was educated in California. That's why his actually mindset is very global. So always he's investing and partnership with foreign, investment arms. So they're doing really big things.
Oh, that's great. And so what do you see over the next 5 years? What's going to happen in terms of, the technology? You've seen over the last 3 to 5 growth. What do you see? What's the future look like? And what's a picture going to look like in another 5 years?
Yeah, so thanks, Gary, and that's a great question. Not only looking for not only Japan, so it's a more collaboration with foreign startups, more collaboration with foreign embassies, many foreign entities and embassies pushing, bringing their technologies from around the world to Japan for collaborating with Japanese like big enterprises. So it's gonna be like and also 8 different ecosystems. When I look at actually Silicon Valley Ventures, my own consulting firm, we are support of J Startup. Have you heard of J Startup?
J Startup? No. Tell me a little bit about it.
Yeah, sure. So J Startup is Japanese ministry, economic ministry, actually chose only born global startups called J Startups.
Mm-hmm.
So and Hokkaido has a J Startup. Hokkaido, also Tohoku J Startup, and also Central Nagoya area has a J Startup. Also Kansai has a J Startup, and we are actually advisor for all of them. And so we try to bring Japanese startups to go global, for changing the world. So those actually speak English. Most of their founders, because Japanese are known to not speak English. However, those startup founders, also they are actually core members and board members. Actually, most of them speak English, and their actually business is not only for targeting domestic markets. Their business is actually look for the overseas markets. So
Wow,
it's
that is cool, John. I love it.
Yeah.
So you've got your hands in everything. So what are you doing these days? You like at these startup events. What are you doing now? What really makes John crazy?
I'm crazy enough to believe actually we can change in the world. Helping the crazy ones and working together. And actually some food tech startup, I just became advisor. They actually actually it's a confidential, so we don't say yet. But they also look for the overseas market. Many actually want to go to US market as well, and some are majority actually look for Asian market because we are located in Asia, and we actually are very busy for not only helping startups. We are also advisor for big companies running the government fund in Asia. And also, we are very busy for the media, and I interview you, Gary, for the media, and it will be published next month about your journey and your philosophy and your strategy for.
Oh, I'm honored. Thank you. Thank you very much, John. That's really cool.
Yeah. So I'm actually official columnist of Forbes Japan, Listener Bank, and Dreamgate in Japan. Also teaching entrepreneurship and innovation in Myanmar and Japan. So quite busy at the moment.
Wow, you're busy. Every time I talk to you, you're on an event, you're writing something, you're interviewing somebody. You're amazing. So look at it. So, coming over to the Valley, what are the things, John, when you came over, what kind of things did you say to yourself, this is incredible and it's so much different than any other place that I've seen it? So what are the top 3 things that you saw that makes Silicon Valley Silicon Valley?
Yeah. So firstly, the talents. So it's a talent pool, I actually, I was so shocked and I was so amazed by people, people's mindset is so different from around the world, because I actually visited, I wanted to compare with another mini Silicon Valley to real Silicon Valley. So my family, we travel 11 different countries to see the different ecosystems, such as, of course, first the top is Israel, India, France, many times, Germany, Luxembourg, Finland, Estonia, Singapore, Canada. So we travel around the world to see different ecosystems. However, for the startup games, for the variation game, everybody just copy. No, it's a good thing to copy and learn, but everything actually do the business same way as Silicon Valley does. So of course, Silicon Valley is like a mastermind, like it's a top like a gold medal. And Second thing from Silicon Valley is actually of course, the capital. Because the top talents are there, so top actually engineers, top researchers, and the top investors, even the angel investment groups. I personally belong to two angel groups: Harvard Business School alumni angels and life science angels, only focus on medtech startups. Many from the deals from the Stanford University. So number 3 is actually Stanford University. Because of Stanford, UC Berkeley, UCSF, so many actually, not only business is great, their actually research is great. Their funding, government supports, so they actually attract foreign, like smart cash, and also smart people want to stay there for as a researchers. So their collaboration accelerate open innovation. So they are the top 3 I can think of.
Okay, now why did you go to Harvard and not Stanford?
Oh, I didn't know much about Stanford before. Harvard is more famous in terms of producing leadership.
Okay,
So
now, but if
different culture.
John, if you had it to do all over again, now that you've been out to Silicon Valley, where would you go?
Yeah, depends on your life stage. I'm 38 years old, already like established the family business and my consulting firm. So I love to go back to actually I don't need to go anywhere. I can take the online course. Might take the online course from UC Berkeley again, but it's a time difference is crazy. So I have to stay awake like 2 a.m. to 6 a.m. So maybe I don't take it. But last time I took about that. Yeah, so online education is great for the executive education from top universities. Yeah.
Well, I mean, that's it. I mean, with this digital transformation, you can learn anything anywhere. I mean, my partner's getting his MBA right now for University of North Carolina, and right now he's in Nigeria. And so, I mean, you can literally do it wherever. I mean, this world is fundamentally changed in the last year with this digital transformation and COVID. On one side, COVID's been a real bear. On the other side, it's forced us to be able to go online and to be able to do business together.
Yes.
So how do you see that, by the way? How is it in Japan? Do you use Zoom in terms of doing deals? Is it commonly used or not?
Every single day, everybody says Zoom, 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 Zoom. 3 years ago, my partner, he was at that time he was still working for Google in Silicon Valley headquarters. So he always sent me the Zoom. Then we got the idea. Hey, use a Zoom for free teaching, online course for next entrepreneurs or next doctors. So me teach entrepreneurship online by Zoom, and then my partner in Silicon Valley teach online programming. So we made an online acceleration program called Silicon Valley Dojo. We only did for the first batch and we quit it. But so many students become very, very successful. Anyways, so we used the Zoom 3 years ago. Nobody knew about it in Japan. But now, since last year, every single people use Zoom.
Well, I mean, I know 5 years ago when I got introduced to Zoom by one of the initial early investors in Zoom, Emergence Capital. And they said, oh, you got to try this out. It's really cool. Actually, we had the meeting with him, and he's the one that said, here's the link, use this. And we wanted to be cool. So we said, oh, this could be a potential VC for us. We better use the link. We used it, and it was unbelievable. And then I remember, John, sending that link out to my friends, and they said, I don't want to download another tool. I've already got Skype. Why do I want to do that? Or I've got WhatsApp. But what happens? Slowly but surely, people actually started to pick it up. And I just read recently, there are over 400 million daily users of Zoom. It went from 30 million up. It's crazy. And if Eric's listening, Eric's net worth, when I checked, was over $18 billion.
Wow.
So, the founder of Zoom. I mean,
congratulations to him. Yeah, he's a very, very nice guy,
He's a nice guy and incredible. But those are the kind of ways, here we are, the people that really utilized that technology during this pandemic really came out ahead, right?
Yeah,
they really came out ahead.
It's crazy, last year, but people actually change very fast as well, with the trend always changing, even the digital transformation. So last year, Zoom was super popular. So now we don't get excited to use Zoom. We just use for the business tools, for the meetings, every day for the business. But so in last year, Japanese said Zoom nomi means Zoom drinking. So drink with Zoom drinking. So get the wine, champagne, sake.
Zoom drinking?
Yeah. So because stay home, right, from work. So people with colleagues couldn't communicate. Japanese usually after 5 we go drinking with buddies or bosses, right? Because Japanese are too shy. So in the office, everybody cannot speak up. But after we drink beer or champagne, we can just talk to the bosses, right? So we use the term Zoom nomi, Zoom drinking was super popular last year. But people get tired of doing the same thing, right?
Yeah.
Now everybody in Japan, most of people with iPhone, so many people use Clubhouse.
Yeah. Clubhouse is unbelievable now.
Oh, popular, right?
It's really popular. But the thing, I don't know about you, but with Clubhouse, just for me, I don't like the fact that I can't see the folks. I really like to talk to people and see their faces and see what's going on with them. And when I'm on Clubhouse, it's just, first of all, I don't know if the person, if it says like Paris Hilton, for instance, is on literally on one of the Clubhouse things, Bitcoin, is it, I don't know if that really is Paris Hilton or somebody putting something up. It's interesting,
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. Yeah, I actually, I started to use since 3 weeks ago. I'm addicted to use Clubhouse every day. And so I could talk to strangers. And also these days, familiar faces using the Clubhouse open their rooms and they invite me. And yesterday, I gave a talk on Zoom, actually, to the medical students and young entrepreneurs. And we connected with the Clubhouse. So when using the Zoom, my talk, or also Clubhouse people, like people can hear my talk. After that, we had an after party on Clubhouse.
Wait a minute. So you were doing Zoom and Clubhouse at the same time?
Yes.
And so what did you do? Put your phone near your computer?
Yes. So I got my iPhone and put the mute on the iPhone.
Yeah.
Then I got the earphone with the laptop. Then I talk. So it doesn't record.
Genius. That is unbelievable. So you set it up. So you've got your iPhone there. You put your iPhone on mute.
Yeah.
And so your iPhone's there. Then at the same time, you're broadcasting through Zoom. But if you're on mute with your iPhone, how does it go on to Clubhouse?
Oh yeah. Sorry. No. The volume was off.
I got it. The volume's off.
Yes.
What a great idea. I love that. So you brought that as dual broadcasting.
Yes.
That is great.
And then when I was talking on the Zoom, right? So people actually, about 50 attendees, like young people watching me on Zoom. And this one, about 80 people on the Clubhouse, and then people start to actually invite people on the Zoom. You cannot invite people, but Clubhouse, you can invite friends.
That's a really, really good idea. Is
afterwards, I asked the young people on the Zoom, hey, join the Clubhouse. Then more people, over 100 people came to my show. Then we had an after party.
That's great. And that sounds like a great application, though. Something that's a universal tool that will tie together a Zoom and a Clubhouse. That is a great idea. Really good. That was fantastic.
It was first time, so I didn't know how to do it, but we figured out, start to do that.
Interesting. Wow. Amazing. Yeah. What kind of things, so Clubhouse is really popular. Zoom's really popular. What about LinkedIn? Are people using LinkedIn a lot?
Yes. So before I was going to Harvard about 9 years ago, about 10 years ago, Harvard asked me to start to use LinkedIn. I didn't know 10 years ago LinkedIn, right? But I registered because they seem like, all like, Harvard people or executives use LinkedIn. And then I didn't have any Japanese friends, so only international friends using the LinkedIn. 5 years ago, again, only people have MBA or people work for London or New York or Singapore. Those like international Japanese friends, start to add me on LinkedIn, but no activity. Since last year, Japanese start to use LinkedIn. Even
Really?
in Japanese, yeah, they don't send me the message in English anymore. They use their profile in Japanese, and their bio is in Japanese, and they only use for the only Japanese friends. But some international Japanese businessmen or recruiters use in English. Then try to hire foreign employees, try to find foreign partners or investors. So because of COVID-19, we cannot travel around the world. So LinkedIn became quite popular.
Oh, that's amazing. And what's going on, by the way, with COVID-19 in Japan? How is it right now?
Yeah, so my family really wanted to move to Silicon Valley for good, but we decided to stay in Japan because of the situation. So last year, also the Tokyo was actually quite bad situation. So many cases every day because it's a big city, right? So my family decided to move from Tokyo to back to my hometown called Shimonoseki City last July, and because of course less people, less cases, and so we're staying there very safe. But also Tokyo is getting better, and also Fukuoka is getting better. Every city in Japan is getting better, and hopefully, because of I'm sorry for the Tokyo Olympics, people cannot come to Japan anymore. But from the autumn, hopefully people can come to Japan again.
And what about the vaccine? Are they giving the vaccines out?
Oh yeah, they do for the medical professionals first. But actually, it's I don't do the comments. That some people like it, others don't want to take it. So no, it's a little bit getting like a politics involved. So I don't do the comments.
Yeah, no, I hear you. I agree. I'm actually going to get the vaccine on Saturday. I'm going to get the Johnson & Johnson vaccine, the one-shot vaccine. So, touch base with me on Tuesday. If I'm still around, it's working.
Good. Yeah.
I didn't have problems with it.
Yeah, Gary, I really want to talk about the startup ecosystem again, and to create an ecosystem in the small cities. And government is actually good at making the regulations or support and funding for accelerators. Also local government try to push to help startups do many events to meet many VCs. And I think one thing missing is actually Silicon Valley's culture. So bringing the real entrepreneurial culture from Silicon Valley to Japan. As you know, Startup Grind is a great NPO and entrepreneur community. Now we are the largest community, 125 countries, 600 cities around the world. So I founded Startup Grind Fukuoka last November. And we do monthly events, like online events like this.
Oh, that's fantastic. And I hear a lot of companies in Silicon Valley talk about the Japanese market. What's the best way for these startups to enter that market? Do you help them? Do you have capabilities to assist? Or what? So let's say they have real cool AI that could be used by the Japanese car manufacturers. What do they do? How do they get to the market?
How to bring those those
bring them in.
Great startups to Japan. Yeah, so we've been asked to bring many technologies and also companies to Japan, especially since last year. However, it's pretty difficult. It was difficult last year because startups didn't do homework. Also, Japanese corporation didn't do the homework. It means actually startups didn't prepare for the Japanese language pitch deck. And also didn't know how to communicate with Japanese big corporates. So it's like Japanese corporates your grandfather, already 85 years old because long history. And the startup is like a 5 years old kid, like a smart kid. The smart kid suddenly do the Zoom meeting to the Japanese grandpa. Hey, grandpa, nice to meet you. First time. Give me money. I'm great. I'm smart. Then grandpa said, what? I cannot hear your language. So, very big culture difference, speed, and Japanese corporations hesitate to, invest just online, only 1 or 2 online meetings. compare with the Chinese investors or American, much faster for the decision making. But Japanese VCs, mostly they are, of course, they are LPs, actually like banks or big corporations. So VCs and even the big strategic corporations, they have shareholders. So how could they make the decision so quickly, like startups? So last year was a little bit tough. However, this year, like Embassy of Canada, Embassy of India, Embassy of Israel, and also Nordic countries, they're actually pushing and doing lots of online events, and they well prepared. Especially Canadian Embassy really prepared very well for the pitch competition. They picked the top AI startups to showcase. They already have a subtitle in Japanese. So Japanese companies, yeah. So of course, more you prepare, more you get. Yeah.
No, I think it's great. And do you see many American companies from Silicon Valley coming over to Japan, John?
Yes. So Dr. Fumi Ikeno from Stanford, my big brother, and also another good lawyers from Wilson Sonsini. We have our NPO called US Japan MedTech Frontiers. So 7 years ago, we bring about 50 people. So about 22 startups from Silicon Valley, only medtech or medical digital transformation companies. We bring them to Japan every year and meet Japanese big corporations, investors, researchers. And so many actually coming to Japan. But again, both sides are not ready before. But hopefully, of course, some great transactions. And also, my friend in Silicon Valley had a successful exit from the Japanese corporations. So getting much better and faster because of the COVID situation.
That's great. I love to hear that. That's great.
You should come, Gary.
I want to come. I'm getting my shot. I'm going to come. My vaccine. I plan on coming. I mean, it's, I have friends that work at GSD Ventures in Palo Alto. So I do see the Japanese companies there. I know my partner, David Yang, actually got some investment from Japan with Abby. So I've been around it. I just haven't had the honor. I really look forward to coming over. It's an untapped opportunity. And, having incredible people like yourself involved is fantastic. By the way, I see we have some comments. I don't know what they say. They're in Japanese. I don't know if you see them, but there's some comments here.
No, I actually don't open the Facebook anymore. So let me check on that.
No, I'll tell you what. I'll send them to you. I can send them after the fact. I'll send them to you. But somebody was asking some questions, I suspect, in Japanese or comments.
Or you can do the DeepL. I always use the DeepL for the translation. It's better than Google Translate.
Oh, I got it. Some comments here.
Oh shit. Okay. DeepL. Yeah.
There we are. Somebody just wrote me that translated from Japanese. Masashi Tashura wrote, how to use Zoom. Zoom drinking parties may be a Japanese specific use. And so I don't think so. I've heard of other people having those. I've actually heard of Zoom dating. So interesting. Okay. I wish I could have it. I wish, anyhow, somebody, Yamaguchi too, whatever that means. Yamaguchi too.
That's our hometown, Shimonoseki in Yamaguchi Prefecture.
I got it. Cool.
Yeah.
So and how is it with the startups coming over? Do they like customer development? Eric Ries, lean startup. Do you talk about that? The startup owners manual, all those kind of customer development kind of things. Bob Dorff, Blank. Really, that's incredible.
Yeah, of course. Since about 6 years ago, those books already translated to Japanese language, and we have many books about how to build startups, MVP, product market fit, and also customization. So Startup Bible, by Annie Suzuman, and many are actually already, and some books recently about how to pitch to investors. So Actually, Silicon Valley's education already translated to Japanese language, and some books. Oh, actually, I'm reading it. It's many from Silicon Valley in Japanese now.
Oh, no kidding. There's a really good book that a friend of mine wrote called Getting to Wow by Bill Reichard. If you get a chance, it's only out, maybe 2 months, but it's an incredible book about wow in Silicon Valley. Bill's a Stanford MBA, Harvard undergraduate, really like one of the godfathers of Silicon Valley. But if you get a chance, check it out. He would.
No, of course.
Really
Yeah, I met Bill, and Bill is also partner with my friend Anis in the Pegasus Tech Ventures right now.
Yeah, sure. Absolutely. Yeah, and Bill's on our board of advisors, so we got a
excellent.
We got another brother.
Sure. Yeah, I should invite all of you for our show for Startup Grind Fukuoka, because now we are doing only in Japanese, but in the future, near future, when we have more audience understand English language, we definitely invite all of you.
We'd love it. We'd love it. So we're coming to the top of the hour. What from your standpoint, John, let's look at over the next year. What kind of changes do you see taking place? How do you see the entire ecosystem growing over the next year? And what are some of the closing comments? And how can people get a hold of you?
Yeah, thanks, Gary. Government hasn't announced the exact date, and however, one newspaper talked about the new regulation. So I'm sure Japanese VCs will be able to invest in foreign startups. And also Tokyo and Osaka and Fukuoka. So now they are competing each other to be the global financial city. So by 2023, one of them become the global financial city. It means they want to invite global private equity, angel groups, of course, venture capitals from around the world to Japan. It means foreign students in Japan starting their own startups, and then foreign investors will invest in foreign students in Japan. Then they can have an IPO. We have a stock exchange market in Sapporo, Hokkaido, and Nagoya, and Fukuoka in the local IPO, and also Tokyo Mother's Stock Exchange. Mother's Exchange, and about 100 startups have IPO, and Mother's is very good market, easy for people to IPO. And because of the small market and valuation, we don't have many unicorns, because before becoming unicorns, many startups go to IPO in Japan. But that's not the bad situation, because so many individuals become shareholders for small startups to grow very fast. So I hopefully many people, many investors, startup people coming to Japan, because we provide startup visa for you. And many local governments provide you the startup visa. So if you like skiing, you can stay, do the startup in Hokkaido. If you like beef, you can stay in Sendai. And then if you like fashion or media and contents or more engineers, in Fukuoka. So you can choose, you can pick the city to do startup or bring your technology, investors or money and your family. So hopefully many come to Japan.
Really? So this is a startup visa? John, this is a startup. And how long does it last? How long is it good for?
Firstly, 1 year, but after 1 year, you can do the, of course, extend.
That is great. So startups out there, Japan's really startup friendly, 1 year visa. And John, how do people get a hold of you? So you are so insightful. How do people get a hold of you? What's the best way?
You can find me, John Kojiro Moriwaka, on LinkedIn. Facebook, unfortunately, already have a 5,000 friends capacity. But Twitter, I tweet in Japanese, but just send me the message on Twitter, or Instagram, start to use more often. And also, of course, Clubhouse, only do the events in Japanese yet. But of course, if you message me, we are happy to do the.
We should do one, John. Let's do one together in English.
Clubhouse?
Yeah.
Yeah, of course.
We could do a Clubhouse. I have Zhenya contact you. Let's do a Clubhouse together, and we'll do it in English. Talk about the startup ecosystem. How about that?
Of course. Yeah, we love to do that.
Sounds great. Well, I got to tell you, thank you so much for taking time out of your busy schedule. I know you got a lot of things going, and I'm humbled to have you here. thanks again. And to my audience, thank you for joining tonight. I know it's a little bit different time, but we are around the world. We are GSD Venture Studios, a global AI and quantum venture studio. And thank you, my great friend, John, Crazy John, for joining tonight. And thank you, audience, for joining. And we look forward to seeing you soon. We'll be back again next Tuesday with another edition of GSD Presents Silicon Valley AI and Tech. Thank you very much. Thank you, John, for joining.
Thank you so much, Crazy Gary. Get shit done, everybody. Let's party.
Yeah.
Innovation for healthier life. Love is the answer.
I love it. Take care, my friend.
Take care. See